I got word
Yeah.
from Puck Empire that Calvin Pickard will miss Game 4 as well.
Wow.
Wow. Live updates.
Live
That's what you
updates.
get when you tune in here to Stick Talk Hockey, folks. You get live updates 3 days after they happened. You're so goddamn welcome.
Stick talk. 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 Stick talk.
And hockey. Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 109 of Stick Talk Hockey. We're in the middle of the playoffs, baby.
It's been gripping.
It has indeed been gripping. As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
Over there, we got our producer.
Producer Jay.
And, we're here today talking about the second round. We're right in the midst of it right now, so we'll kind of go over where we're at. We got a little bit of news to touch on at the very end. And, let's get into it.
Hell yeah, I'm ready.
So, I figure this time we're going to start out in the East. We'll look at the Leafs and the Florida Panthers, who, what a series that's been so far.
Yeah, it's been a real battle of mantras.
Indeed.
It's been really interesting to watch a team go about their business while another team just looks like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah, I mean, the hate's at an all-time high, right? Like,
It's so juicy.
Leafs fans are just absolutely falling apart at the seams over Sam Bennett.
And rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah.
I would be choked.
No, I get it. Emotions are high. It's the playoffs. It's Sam Bennett. I understand why everyone's so upset. However, personally, I didn't think that the play on Stolarz was suspendable.
It probably wasn't, no, but it's with the player and the history, I can see the
Oh, I get it.
animosity and
Of course.
more even I'm leaning towards it was probably accidentally on purpose.
Yeah.
You know where you are and you know when you're kind of going to give a guy a shot. You might not mean for it to be making him throw up over the bench type of shots, but you know where you are typically, especially when you're around the crease. You're looking at blue paint, you could see the crease. You know the goalie's going to be somewhere to your right.
Yeah.
Common sense would say tuck the elbow, not extend it out.
He did tuck the elbow. I thought he tucked the elbow. He didn't extend that elbow. Come on.
No, he didn't do his best to skate around the goalie either, though.
No,
he went
he
straight
didn't.
through him.
No, I get that.
And it's not 90s hockey. If this was 90s, early 2000s hockey, I'd be like, yeah, it's a great play. Take it to the house.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if we're going to have a conversation that's, we should be changing the rule book to make sure that we're protecting the goalies better, I completely agree. Actually, I fully agree, and it's something I think we should be talking about.
100%.
However, if you're looking at that and saying that's a suspendable play, why hasn't he been suspended? I disagree with that.
I do too. I do too, especially when it gets into playoffs and it's not egregious enough for you to link it to malicious intent. It's not like he was directly staring at the guy's temple before he delivered the blow. It's the same thing with the Ekholm elbow that's been circulating on Wool. And it's it was on Wool.
Ekblad.
Or Ekblad, sorry, not Ekholm. Yeah. My goodness.
I mean, Ek names.
The X.
These dang X.
Yeah, the X and the defensemen's and oh goodness.
It's always your X.
Yeah, it do be.
Yeah.
But, he goes up for the puck, he comes down with it, and you're trying to protect yourself too. You put your arm up Yeah, it's incidental and it sucks, but I doubt there was real malicious intent there. So can I just let it go?
I agree with that. And it is tough, especially when Stolarz has been so good, and Wall did play pretty well as well. But Stolarz has been so good, and now you don't even have a timeline on him. You see the report that he left on a stretcher, and you see him throwing up at the bench. It's a tough scene.
That's some really serious stuff. It is not good.
So I hope the best for him, not just for the Leafs playoff chances, but head injuries are no joke. So I do hope the best for the guy.
100%, and I'm really looking forward to catching more of this series. I just really hope that the Leafs don't buckle on their morals.
Me too.
I really hope that they just keep going about their business and killing them with goals because
Yeah.
Was it Marner that let out that quote and it was like, how do you get them back? And it was like, you get them back by scoring.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure that quote came from within the top 3 in the Leafs roster. I can't remember who though. It was early this week that I saw it.
I love that. And, I was talking with Jonesy a little bit this week. I mean, I really think at the beginning of the season, I was very skeptical that a coaching change would do much for this Leafs roster. But now, we're into the second round, and I'm looking at, remembering the Sheldon Keefe days, especially when you see Wes McCauley on the ice, and you remember all the Leafs drama about, Wes McCauley and Sheldon Keefe's sister, or whatever the heck it was. I don't remember. But Sheldon Keefe wore his heart on his sleeve, right?
Absolutely. He did in Jersey too, and it was a little messy at times in the first round.
But you know what? I think for some groups that can work. He was very animated, whether it was directed towards the refs or whether it was directed towards his team or the opposing team. Very animated fella who wore his heart on his sleeve. And I do think in some ways that may have undone the Leafs, especially now when you look at Craig Berube behind the bench and it's just all business.
So methodical.
Like there was that clip from the first round when I can't remember. They scored a goal, right? And the assistant coaches started going crazy, and Berube just looks at them and goes, "Calm down."
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Calm down. Yeah.
We need to be setting an example for the players on the bench. If they look back at us and see us doing a little happy dance and getting giddy, then there's their discipline out the window. And
it has reflected onto the players. They look so much more businesslike out there, and they need to in this series. Like you can't, people, the Leafs fan. Oh, bring up Reeves. Come on. No, you don't want to get into this game with a team that has Brad Marchand, Sam Bennett, and Matthew Tkachuk on it. You're going to lose that battle. Play your game.
Yeah, and we're not even getting into the defensive lines, and there's some real heels back there, too.
Yeah.
Just don't open that can of worms.
No.
Keep going about your business. Pick up your last 2 wins.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this series ain't over. I think this one's going the distance. They lose a close one to the Leaf killer himself, Brad Marchand.
Tough.
Just trauma resurfacing for you Leafs fans out there.
He's inescapable.
He is inescapable.
Death, taxes, Brad Marchand crushing the Leafs in playoffs.
Exactly. Indeed. My Cats in 4 is dead. However, I'm going to ride with Ben here. I told Ben, if you've been listening the last few weeks, Ben, we're not picking the Leafs. I'm going to take Cats in 7. Just for you, brother.
I think I had Cats in 6, didn't
I?
You had Cats in 5.
Cats in 5, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll match you with Cats in 7.
I like it. Jay, you had them in what? 6?
6.
Still on the board.
And I'm going to stick with it.
Nice.
All right, let's move on to the one that I also want you to stick with, Mr. Blues in 7 over there.
6, actually, but that was tough. I mean, we haven't even talked about that game 7.
That game 7, yeah. I mean, I know this is going back a week now, but because it was right after we recorded. Game 7, St. Louis and Winnipeg was one of the most insane Game 7s I've ever seen.
It was electric. I was screaming in my apartment. I scared the damn out of my cats. They went bolting to the other room.
Yeah, me too. Like Carly and I watched that game, and I was kind of on the Blues wagon, right? Like I was on this show last week saying I thought the Blues were gonna win, so I was kind of planting my stake there, and I was hoping for the Blues to get through. But like, yeah, I jumped out of my seat, literally, when Winnipeg scored that game tying goal with 1.4 or whatever it was left on the clock. Just. And hours after we were in here saying, "Oh, Dallas and Colorado, the most insane Game 7 I've seen in forever," and the Jets just had to one-up us. Unbelievable stuff.
Setting a record with a tying goal late in the third.
Yeah.
1.6 seconds left on the board. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's so... And what's funny about that was I was watching that whole play, and I wanted to bring this up to Leapfrog.
Yeah.
I was watching that play develop.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I could think was, God damn, I get why Nikolai Ehlers doesn't play first line minutes anymore.
Yup.
Because when when the pressure's on, this guy turns into a fan.
Dude, that guy.
Dude was whiffing.
I thought the exact same thing, and I've been pretty high on the Ehlers train, and like I
Same.
watched him whiff that first time, and I was like, oh, this guy, and then I watched him whiff the second time, and I was like, get him out of Winnipeg.
Yeah. And when he failed to hold the line on the easy keep in,
Yeah, yeah.
he didn't put his
yeah.
skate in front of it. He just tried to blade it down. It's like, what are you doing?
And then the Hail Mary pass. I mean, you know what's insane about that is like, real deal. If that goal hadn't gone in, he leaves this offseason,
Yep, that would be it.
and that's his legacy as a Winnipeg Jet. Is that play right there?
That's exactly what I was thinking. And then 5 seconds later, he got it across, and I was like, oh, holy crap. Wait a minute.
It's so that's the beautiful thing about the playoffs is how legacies can be formed and destroyed in literal split-second plays. There's another like prime example of this that I want to get to later in this Oilers series. So I want to plant that seed now, but like it's so crazy. It's so crazy how your entire legacy with a fan base can be made and broken in seconds in the playoffs.
And honestly, I think that the Jets' legacy as a whole
Yeah.
was so contingent on that game.
Yeah, 100%.
What happens in Winnipeg in the offseason if they lose with this team in 7 to the Blues?
After winning the President's Trophy.
You have to imagine they blow it up. Like,
well,
or at least make some major
some sort
changes.
of major change, indeed.
And, you know, I just think it's really, really telling about where the Jets are and how shaky the ground is moving forward.
Yeah.
When you have one Game 7 that literally defines your entire 10 years. Because it shouldn't be
sure.
like that. If you have a team that's been this capable,
Yeah. I don't know. I think any team's, pretty much every single team's legacy will come down to a Game 7 at some point. Like that's the time where it's made and broken.
I think it's the defining moment, but I think that you have so much more to fall back on. Like, Colorado loses Game 7, but we go, okay, yeah, they're still a wagon and they almost got it done. That's more a testament to how quality they've been and how they're able to pull something out.
I guess, yeah, if you have a cup, it's a little different for sure.
Like, things change, especially contextually. If you make like a 3rd round berth, if you make it to the finals even. Like,
Yeah.
the Oilers could choke this series and we would still be like, well, they made the finals the year before. So like,
But they lost in Game 7.
but yeah,
That's the thing that you think of, though, right? They lost in Game 7 of the finals. Same with the Canucks, right? Like, that whole Canucks tenure, the Sedins, Luongo, all that, the defining moment for them. Well, there was 2. One was the Dragon Slayer against Chicago,
yes. Oh my God. I
Game
still think
7,
about that.
overtime. The other was another Game 7 that I think they stopped it halfway through and we never saw the finale of. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, there was something going on outside the arena. There was
I was gonna
riots.
say, wasn't there like a big police presence outside the arena? And then
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, they stopped the game.
Yeah, definitely. That's what happened.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
But
yeah.
I just think that we're gonna get at least like that one goal, that one play, stoked the fire for the Jets for another 2 years. That bought them
Indeed.
lifeline.
Indeed. And what a series we're in here with them playing the Stars now. Mikko Rantanen remains in God mode.
I take back everything I said about the contract. I take back everything I said about
Yeah.
everyone paying out the nose for him. Yep, this guy defines a series. He defines a team.
It's and that's another, legacy thing where prior to, I guess, Game 6 in the Jets series, or in the Colorado series, the narrative around Mikko Rantanen had kind of moved since his trade, right? He got traded, and is he a Nathan McKinnon merchant? Maybe. He was awful in Carolina.
Yep.
Oh, is he a McKinnon merchant? Maybe he's not that guy.
I mean, and also to be fair, I heard Carolina was trying to make him play like entirely contrary to his own play style, and
That
it's like
doesn't shock me at all.
you can't bring in a guy who is this talented and then just be like, no, you're going to play our system.
That's what Carolina does, and it's a problem for them.
Yeah, it's a good way to just step on talent and ruin your chances.
And then this guy literally just ends all of that discussion across 3 games.
Thanos snap.
He went supernova. And I mean, what a treat to watch. You look at a Dallas team that needed this guy, you know. They have had lots of depth. They've had lots of guys. They've had their Rupe Hintzes and their Logan Stankovens and their Jason Robertsons and all of these guys who are real guys, but they needed a dog. And Mikko Rantanen is that dog.
Yeah, they needed the ultimate X factor.
Yeah.
They had a lot of very good dudes. But
Yeah.
very good doesn't win the greatest trophy in all
Nope.
the sports.
Not anymore. 100%. And, you know, we talked about what it could mean for Dallas. And a little while ago, you know, in the wake of the big trade from the Mavericks to the Lakers, in the wake of the Cowboys being horrific. And look, I mean, that Dallas barn might be the best atmosphere in the American NHL teams. We talked about that last week, and they're showing out for that guy right there, Mikko Rantanen.
As they should be.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably, if I was a Dallas fan, I would probably have a shrine to that guy on my wall already. I'd be praying to Mikko Rantanen every night.
Yeah. What a series of storylines, too. I mean, another bounce back for Connor Hellebuck as well.
Legendary.
Gets a shutout in game 2.
Makes you go, oh, hold on.
Oh, hold on.
He may be tired, but he's still great.
But he's still one of the best goaltenders on earth right now, if not the. So, I don't know. This series is tied 1-1. I think it's going the distance for sure. I can't wait. Just excited as a hockey fan.
Yeah, I can't wait either. I still got the Jets. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, watching that Blues game, that game 7 we were just talking about,
Mhm.
I was having a bad time through
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
I was
bet-
watching
I
that
bet you
entire
were.
third period. Like, I swear to God, if that take goes stale before the pod even drops.
You know what? I got to shout out my good friend Joel, a man who's been on this podcast before.
Oh, no.
He was here about a year ago, right around the end of the playoffs last season. This guy texted me with like 2 minutes left when it was still 3-1 for the Blues, and said, quote, "I better not ever hear anyone say the Jets are for real ever again." And I replied immediately, and I said, "This ain't over." Jets go on to score 2 goals in those last 2 minutes. And I replied, "You absolute how dare you, Joel?" How dare you?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I blame him. Big Joel, if you're listening, I blame you.
That's so good. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate you.
He also said, one of the biggest hockey fans I know, as big as any of us here. Been watching hockey a very long time. He also said he hates the playoffs this week, which cracked me up.
I thought that's what we were talking about, actually.
Yeah. I sent those ones to you. Yeah.
Yeah, that had me cackling. I was like, what do you mean? This has been some of the best playoffs we've been treated to in like the last 5 years. This has been electric.
I know. He's like, I don't want these series to go long. I just want to be right. Yeah. Okay. Valid.
That's crazy. I could see that take for like the East in like the first round.
Yeah.
But this is great.
I know.
This is great playoffs. What are you talking about, Joel?
You know, I really do remember. Like, it didn't surprise me at all because I really do remember when the Habs went to the final.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen that man more pissed in his life. Like, it just annoyed him so deep to his core that the Montreal Canadiens were like somehow winning games. Funny stuff. What a fella.
I mean, that bothered the shit out of me too. 'Cause
Yeah, me
it's like,
too.
It felt like a formality. Usually
Yeah.
the finals feel like such a grand thing, and you're like, what's gonna happen? The battle of juggernauts. It could go either way. We could play this series 20 times over, and it would be a 10-10 split.
Sure.
No.
That was over.
We could play that series 1,000,000 times, and it was still a thrashing.
Oh, God. All right, let's get over to the Hurricanes here. The Hurricanes are up 2-1 right now on the Washington Capitals. And this series, Jonesy, I think you were incorrect
I
about.
may have missed the mark a bit.
You saying this was going to be the most exciting series. This series has been a snooze for me.
I didn't say it was
Same.
going to be the most exciting. I was just saying I was excited for it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But I don't know. There's still time.
There is still time. You know what my problem with this series is? I think the Carolina Hurricanes play 2019 ass hockey. I think they play pre-COVID hockey. Is
Go-
my problem with the Carolina Hurricanes.
Elaborate.
Like, this series feels like a 2019 series to me in the sense of, like, when Carolina takes a 3-1 lead in game 2 or game 1, whatever it was, I feel like, oh, this game's over. Good night.
Yeah.
When the Hurricanes go up 2-0, 3-0, it's just like, oh, they're gonna just park the bus now. Oh, the Capitals go up 3. I think it was the Capitals actually that went up 3-1, and it was like, yeah, this game's done. And it's just grinded out hockey. Limit everything, shut everything down. And I just don't think that this is the real reason why I think that the Hurricanes or the Capitals, whoever gets out of the series, is not getting anywhere else. Because you look at the rest of the series here. You look at the Leafs, you look at the Jets series, you look at the Oilers series, and they're insane. These are these high-scoring, modern NHL affairs with 5-4 finals, and nobody can hold a lead for longer than 4 minutes.
You're seeing 4 goals, between the two teams in the last 5 minutes. Like, it's
Or in the first 5 minutes. Like, I mean, it's high octane to
Yeah.
the umpteenth degree.
it's like if you infused Rocket League with NHL hockey.
Exactly.
It's so unpredictable now. Like, ice hockey is closer to roller hockey and ball hockey than it's ever been, with just how quick bullshit happens.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of like my peak NBA watching experiences,
Yeah.
where there's no such thing as a safe lead, and the games are so back and forth, and the offense is so high octane. For me, that was mid 2010s, the early Warriors eras and stuff like that. I mean, the game is in the best place I genuinely think it's ever been in my life. And then I'm just like watching this Hurricanes team, and I'm just like, yeah, you haven't caught up with the rest of them. You know?
I mean, the Oilers, the Hurricanes have led with a very archaic mentality for a long time.
Yeah.
And you even see it with was it Nichushkin or whatever?
Mhm.
You know the guy. They're trying to sign him from the KHL. They just got his rights. He came over, and now he's threatening to go back and sign back in the K because they can't
Yes,
agree on a
yes.
contract. And he's like, it's a formality. Sign the goddamn dotted line.
Sure.
And they're like, no, we gotta they're trying to drag it out.
Sure.
So they might just lose that talent.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just such an archaic mentality as well.
Yeah.
No, you'll do it on our timeline. No, what matters for the team is the most important.
Yeah.
You've
No.
done nothing for this man. He does
Sure.
not owe you loyalty.
Sure.
Sign him.
100%. I don't know. The Hurricanes, they're stuck in a game that doesn't play anymore, I don't think. And it's because, like, really, like, that's when I say 2019, like, that's not that long ago.
No, but I mean, the game moves fast.
Games moved a lot.
Especially as we've seen a lot of the older generation retire in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
We got no Pat Maroon. We just lost Alec Martinez with him as well. They retired together in Chicago this year. That's, like, for me, a staple of the playoffs for a long time.
Yeah.
Those two names, no matter what channel or what game you tuned into throughout that 10-year gap,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably going to see them on one of them.
100%.
They just played musical chairs with, like, contenders.
However, we are still seeing Corey Perry.
God damn.
Scory Perry.
Scory Perry is a phenomena.
And indeed.
I can't explain it. I was sitting there at family dinner, and what do I hear? But Corey goddamn Perry.
Twice.
Yep. Crazy work.
Also, Stick Talk legend Riley Smith. Twice.
He's kind of been humming.
Yeah, because he's good.
That's my guy.
Yeah, that's your guy now?
Yeah.
All right. We're just
Demon.
swapping. Demon. All right, let's wrap up on the Hurricanes here. Snooze series for me. I really hope it picks up here because I have been watching it. What did I have on that? Did I have the Caps in 7? I think I did. I'm just gonna ride with it. Sure.
Yeah, I got Caps in whatever the hell I said, 6, 7.
Caps in 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stick with Caps in 6. I just really want to highlight the fact that like they've been trying to play that Carolina between the whistle hockey.
Yeah.
God, they suck at it.
Yeah.
God, they're just not as good. They're just not as like it's fine to be, but like if you're not as shitty as the team you're playing against, just leave it alone. Do the Leafs thing right now because you're getting absolutely embarrassed.
Yeah. Just leave it to Tom. Just let Tom Wilson do it.
Yeah, you have a guy. You have one
Yeah.
guy who's paid to do that.
Yeah.
All of the rest, you just mind your frickin' business. Score a
that's fair.
goal.
Fair. Jay, you have any thoughts so far on that series?
I think Carolina's been pretty dominant.
Yeah.
I think the Caps are really in trouble.
Yeah.
Like I imagine Carolina goes up 3-1 by the time this pod comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's wraps.
The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's time for all the high stakes drama, clutch moments, and jaw dropping plays. I can't wait. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30 points, 40, or more? It's your call. Here's something special for the first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Let's move on to the Oilers. Look, I love having the Oilers in the playoffs. Like, I really do. Because, oh, baby. These games are just so much fun.
Are they ever? Edmonton is explosive.
I mean, they're up 2-1. Game 3 will have happened by the time this podcast comes out. Or, sorry, Game 4 will have happened by the time this podcast comes out. But right now, it's 2-1. Skinner comes back in, right? Tough scenes. We don't know what's going on with Pickard, but
Lower body injury did not look good.
did not play.
I got word.
Yeah.
From Puck Empire that Calvin Pickard will miss Game 4 as well.
Wow.
Wow. Live updates.
Live
That's what you
updates.
get when you tune in here to Stick Talk Hockey, folks. You get live updates 3 days after they happened. You're so goddamn welcome.
Yeah, factual. Okay, so Stuart Skinner, yeah, he comes back in. They win with the 2 games without him. They lose Game 3 with him. He posts an .833 save percentage, which is his highest of the playoffs so far.
Don't tell me that. Don't say that. No.
So that's horrifying. And you know what? Last night, when we were, Jonesy and I are at work, and a guy Jonesy's shouted out on the podcast a couple times, Justin, a resident Oilers fan. We asked him, how you feeling about Stuart Skinner? And he was jacked. He was like,
He was like, my boy's got something to prove.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to prove that he can be in the NHL.
Yeah. Indeed. So, Riley Smith game winner, 0.4 seconds left. Unbelievable stuff. Leon Draisaitl, good grief, dude. Just don't touch it. Hard to actually blame him. I'm not blaming the guy. But that was some tough scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of remarkable that the puck went off of his stick for the deciding goal in both games. It's
Both games.
It's pretty neat. Pretty neat stuff. He's
know
on
what?
a streak.
He's on a streak. That game prior is what I wanted to talk about for legacies.
Okay.
Because the Jack Eichel thing. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Jack Eichel, my whole thing going into the series was, can he shut down Connor McDavid?
The answer is no.
So that's the hard part, right? Because the answer, yes, like the legacy answer is now no. But he honestly, that entire game, I don't think I've ever seen anyone play Connor McDavid that good besides maybe Barkov last year.
I was going to actually follow it up with the asterisks of the answer is no in open ice.
Fair enough.
If you get him inside of a structured defensive environment, he's very good.
Yeah.
He's very good at reading the play and cutting the angle.
He was He was all over him. He hounded him the entire night. He completely took him out of that game. They won the high danger chances battle in their head-to-head minutes. Eichel did. That's unbelievable when you're playing against Connor McDavid. But what happens? One play where he gets turnstiled by the fastest player on earth, and that's the only thing anyone will think of.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, that's tough, but the series is still going. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if he continues the play in his defensive zone the way he was, aside from getting turnstiled, the narrative might change a little bit more, especially if we get this to like a Game 7 and, you know, he holds McDavid off the board for 33 minutes of ice time or whatever. That suddenly becomes one of those Barkov moments where you're like, well, you know, maybe this guy's actually just that elite as a two-way player.
Jack Eichel's really impressed me this series.
He's looked way better. I was really concerned about how he would keep up with the injuries he came into the playoffs with, but either he's the strongest dude ever and is just playing through hell, or he's fully healthy or
he's back.
Yeah.
Yeah. This series, I can't wait to watch the end. Watching the Oilers is just fun because the goaltending's so bad and the offense is so good. It's just so much fun.
They're chaos merchants.
They are absolute chaos merchants.
In both the good and the bad way. It's fantastic.
It makes for such a wonderful entertainment product. Like, people always talk about, Bettman, you know, he doesn't want Canadian teams in. If you want revenue, like, just keep the Oilers in the playoffs. It's just so exciting every time they're out there. There's so many goals because their goaltending's horrific. Connor McDavid, the best player in the world, is just like absolutely God mode in the playoffs. You know, on a similar note though, I really think, assuming the goaltending can be okay, like Pickard can kind of come back and just be all right, I really think this is the Oilers' cup to lose.
Really?
I think, you know, this thing I've been hammering all year about how, like, it's elite contributions that are winning now.
Yep.
You know? I look around and I think it's been paying off for me so far. You know, like, okay, Jets in Colorado. What happened? Rantanen went supernova.
Yep.
We just talked about it. I think it's probably going to be enough to get him through this series too. You look at the Leafs and the Senators, this series that they almost got back into. What happened? Big Dogs showed up.
Yep. Yeah, okay.
Big Dogs are showing up in the Leafs and the Panthers series right now too.
I think a big thing for the Oilers too is they're getting scoring from guys who you wouldn't expect. Like, you're getting 2 goals from Corey Perry in a game.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, you're getting them on the ice with Connor McDavid.
You're getting an Evander Kane goal.
But late in the game, who's ending that game? It's McDavid and Draisaitl.
Of course it is.
And I think no matter who they play, that's what's happening. At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, if a team is throwing everything they got at you, which they are. That's what's happening. You're going to be up late in games. You're going to be down late in games because that's this insane NHL that we're living in right now. There's no team that can stop the Edmonton Oilers when they're throwing everything at you. Simple as that.
Yeah, I don't really feel like this series is as much as like a crowning moment of like it's your cup to lose, as much as I do with like the Leafs, for example.
Mhm.
And just like such an insurmountable, mean ass, destroy your entire lineup team against the Cats.
Yep.
I feel like Vegas, just as much as they are a staple of the playoffs in the last 5 to 8 years, basically since their inception, they don't really strike me as a team that I was really worried about going into this. And I feel like
Yep.
if they win this series, it's just another series win, but I'm still going to be looking at whoever they move on to with some concern.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but like, if we're talking about,
And I don't think that entirely rests on the head of Picard either. Like, I think there's a lot of things that have to go right for the Leafs to compensate for the things that regularly go wrong.
Leafs or the Oilers?
Sorry, the Oilers.
Yeah.
My brain, my poor brain.
Yeah, I don't know. I just look around and I think, okay, so what's ending a series right now? And it's
A Bouchard turnover.
yeah.
I mean, we're forgetting about how leaky that back end can be sometimes, and only because they've been able to
It doesn't
pot.
matter.
But only because they've been able to pot 4 or 5.
Exactly.
What happens if that doesn't happen?
It does though. That's the point.
But I mean, it didn't happen with Dallas the other night. They got shut out against the Jets.
But that's just it, right? I mean, first of all, the Jets' nuke is Connor Hellebuck,
Yeah.
right? So like that is their nuke. And yeah, the point is Dallas's nuke isn't as good as the Oilers' nuke. Right?
Valid.
Mikko Rantanen, as phenomenal as he is not Connor McDavid.
Valid. I mean,
Likely not even Leon Draisaitl. Well,
the goaltending concerns, and I know you led with this. Like you said, granted, Picard is healthy. This is their cup to lose.
healthy-ish, yeah.
Healthy-ish. I still don't know if I believe that, because I don't know if I've seen enough out of this guy to believe that he can actually ride a hot hand like that.
I just like for real, neither of them have been even remotely good, Skinner or Pickard.
And that's it too, right? Like,
And here they are, up in the second round, because I don't even know that it matters at all. It's a broken world that we're living in.
I'm gonna stick to my laurels.
I
I'm gonna
hope
be
you-
like, no, goalies matter.
I respect it. I respect it.
Goalies matter. If we're playing in a league where goalies don't matter, then we may as well just give up the guard position as well. Who gives a shit anymore? Just leave the inside pane open. I don't give a shit.
Fair enough.
Just employ a second shooting guard. Shove him straight out there at the 3-point line. Leave it the fuck alone.
Okay. I got a question for you as well. Oilers Leafs final.
Yes. Oh.
Imagine. First of all, I think it would be really interesting because we have so many casual fans in Canada that always just cheer for a Canadian Cup.
So where do you land on that? Well, I feel like that would be more of like an ideological debate then, because then you're really splitting county lines.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay. I know I said if the Oilers made the finals,
Yeah.
I would cheer for them.
Yeah.
If another Canadian team makes the finals with them,
Yeah.
i.e. the Leafs, it's out the window.
Yeah, you'd go Leafs.
Yeah, I just don't want Albertans to have anything nice. I'm sorry. You guys suck right now.
Yeah, see, that's my thing. I've never been one to cheer for a team from Alberta. However, there is a little bit of a Canada USA thing still even within that, right? Where the captain of the Edmonton Oilers is Connor McDavid.
Austin Matthews.
The captain of that Leafs team is that dang Yank,
Big Daddy Eagle.
Big Daddy Eagle. You'd go Leafs though, you think?
Yeah, I'd go Leafs. I just don't like the Oilers.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like
They
this
drive me
team.
crazy, too.
Yeah, they piss me off. Like, they're just like I hate them so much that I don't have it in my heart to like hate them the way I hate other teams.
Yeah. Jonesy? Leafs, eh? Why? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, can't argue with that.
Same.
Oh, yo, if we picked against the Leafs all year and then picked them in the finals,
And they lose.
I think like Ben knows where I live.
Yeah, you sent mail
He sent mail here.
written in crayon, which becomes more concerning in that context. Get blocky, disjointed crayon letters, just like count your days.
Count your days.
Wake up every morning, do a new post-it note on your door with a different number.
Honestly,
counting
yeah.
down.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know who the heck I would cheer for in that situation. Both ways, you're just witnessing actual history. You know what I mean?
It's special either way, and I think the electricity in Canada would be so
It would
fun.
be awesome. It would be awesome. I think at the end of the day, I would cheer for the Oilers just because I really do want to see Connor McDavid lift the Stanley Cup, and I also kind of want to see that Leafs meltdown, just a little bit, like not a lot, but just a little bit.
You know, I think about the pictures at the end, the storybook pictures, the ones you always flip back to.
Mm-hmm.
And you are right there. Connor McDavid hoisting the cup with that big, bushy, red-ass beard.
Yeah.
Especially with the new vintage Edmonton jerseys.
Yeah.
It just has an aura.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
And the Leafs with their Oreo helmets and their bullshit milk adverts and their awful mustaches and yeah, I don't know that.
I don't know.
I don't know if I can really like cop to that one. Like,
I also think it makes it actually. People are talking about like, oh, if the Oilers lose, McDavid, he might get out, right?
I don't think so.
I think it's much more likely he leaves if they win.
Why?
I don't. I just feel like, first of all, I don't think that he's leaving. Just in general, it seems like he likes it there, and that's fine. But if he doesn't win a cup this year or next year, there's an unfinished business aspect of like, we've been so close. Draisaitl's still here, Nuge is here, everyone's here. We've been so close. We got to get over the hump,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think if you win, you are kind of looking at it as, my job's done here. I can go play in Florida.
I can go do whatever I want.
I could go live where it's not negative 25 degrees all the time.
That's so valid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's more likely to stay either way, but I do actually think it makes it that level of will he leave actually goes up if they win the cup rather than down.
That's fair. I feel like he's definitely kind of one of those guys that if like the story was left unfinished, he'd have his Cody Rhodes moment and be like, I have to finish the story.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, interesting one. I'm excited for the end of that series though.
Yeah, absolutely. In retrospect, I would hate to have to listen to Albertans for a whole year talking about how it's their cup.
No.
But
no, not for a full year, Trill.
Forever.
Yeah, like Habs fans are still.
Oh my God,
last team to win the cup, last Canadian team to win the cup, 93.
Insufferable.
32 years ago.
Insufferable. Just so you know, if you're watching,
It's
cut
a long
it out.
time. It's a long time.
Yeah. I wasn't even born then. I don't care.
Factual.
Like,
I'm a grown ass man. If it happened before I was born, your achievement, it's not an achievement to me.
facts. Doesn't count anymore. Not acknowledging it. And man, I really do want to see Corey Perry lift a cup. I want to see that man get another. I want to see him lift that
20
shit
year,
high.
almost 20 years apart it would be.
How? Like, think
Yeah,
about that.
I know. I am thinking about that right now, and yeah, I like that idea.
I'm like being filled with childhood nostalgia right now. I'm like a little bubbly thinking about that. Like,
Yeah. We were just talking about yesterday, the 2007 run when they eliminated the Canucks in double overtime because Luongo threw his arm up and looked at the ref for a penalty. Nice.
play the game.
Play the game. That's what happens when you make goalie your captain, I guess.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Should we touch on Quenneville?
Hey, yo.
Yeah, Joel Quenneville got hired in Anaheim. Not a shock. It seemed like it was coming down the pipe. Welcome back, Bozo. We need a good chant. Like the fans need a good chant. You know, like when they were chanting, "She said no" at Kane.
Free R. Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, you could run with that. I'd like to see you start that one.
You know, like Quenneville takes the ice for like the first game, and everyone's just like, "Free R. Kelly."
Oh my god. Yeah. No, this is a tough one. I mean, a little bit of transparency would go a long way here, right? Because the thing online is there's a whole lot of debate, right? There's a whole lot of, oh, well, does he deserve to lose his job forever? Yes. Does he, whatever. And then there's the thing about the original report, right? Which was that in the meeting that they had about this where Quenneville was sitting in, it doesn't say that he was informed that it was a sexual assault, that he was just informed of there being an incident, yada, yada, yada. Okay, fine. I understand that. But a little bit of transparency here would go a long way. Because if that were the case,
Yes.
if Quenneville did not actually know about this incident,
Yes.
that's something that the league or the team or someone should be telling their paying, season ticket holding, Sportsnet owning fans.
Yes.
Because you would get a lot more reception. A lot more of, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? Yes, okay, sure. Maybe the guy's in charge. Quenneville, yes, he's in charge of his players. Maybe he should have known, but if he didn't know, okay, now you do the work and you get back. Okay, that's fine. That would all be fine. But the fact that they're not telling you all of this, any of that, actually, tells you that he probably did know what was happening.
Yeah. Well, and it was the specific words he used after the fact in which he said he didn't say I didn't know.
Exactly.
He said I didn't know the severity.
Right.
I just thought he grabbed his cock once. I mean, oh yeah. How
Well,
was I supposed to know?
Again, though, like that could be, I didn't know it was a sexual assault.
I mean, like, if someone's coming to you with a problem because a video coach touched them and they didn't ask for it.
But nobody went to Quenneville, right? They went to the whatever that other guy's name is who called that meeting and said he was going to deal with it. I'm trying to give some grace here because I want it to be clear why I think Quenneville shouldn't have been hired.
Okay.
And I'd like to take the arguments for it away, which is simply that if Quenneville had a good reason to still be in this league, we would know it.
Hey, yo, bars.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And I'd like to reference, I will send you the @ handle and stuff so you can like put it in the, comment section and on the video here.
Sure.
But he's like the new guy who picked up hockey during the Four Nations thing. He's a fairly new content creator.
Yeah, I know that fellow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And big respect to this guy because
Yeah.
I mean, like, he hit the nail on the head with this take, and he was like, "Hey, like, I haven't been following hockey for that long, so like, don't get mad at me if like, I'm a little off base here, but looking at this statement here about hiring this coach, if you have to put out a statement like this,
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't be hiring the guy.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Come on now.
I know. It's brutal. I mean, I get it. For the Ducks, you hire a guy that's won Stanley Cups, sure. That a guy who was so involved with that thing and did not prevent it in any way probably isn't fit to lead a locker room.
No.
Sorry.
And I mean, I would like to know more about his rehabilitation process. Like, I get it. It's a personal matter. It's private.
Sure.
And it's embarrassing as when you get caught publicly doing something you weren't supposed to do. I'm sure there's a large amount of guilt and embarrassment that goes with that.
Yeah.
But just hiding in the corner and being quiet isn't going to absolve you of that. Show us some receipts. What'd you do?
Well,
Where'd you go?
Well, we did get those receipts.
I mean, as far as like just saying he went to therapy, it's like, okay.
No. They posted all the foundations he's been working with.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I missed that. When did that happen?
Couple days ago now.
Oh, okay. So that must be why I missed it.
But it doesn't go into detail of like what he did or anything.
He just worked with them.
Worked with them, and it was, I believe, almost 30 organizations. And the blessing from Brian Burke does actually mean something to me.
That does mean something to me too. I mean, like Berkey has a pretty good temp on where things should be.
He does, and believes in the retribution story and all of that. But again, like, the only way you can ask your paying patrons and customers and fans to accept something this heinous is to be transparent about it. And they still haven't shown actual transparency.
And it's that really is just such a problem when you factor in the Team Canada court trials that are going on.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Talk about timing, huh?
the underground settlements and all of this other stuff that gets brought to light. We've been seeing a bunch of stories about the old boys club with GMs and
yeah.
like, this, that, and the third. It's
Yeah.
like, now is not the time for you to do everything under a thick veil of smoke. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no fog of war that's going to protect you from the assumptions, because when you don't tell us what happened directly, we're left to assume.
Totally.
And unfortunately, you don't look very good right now. It's not our fault that we're assuming the worst.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing the worst.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Through the sport.
For sure.
So if it wasn't that bad, or even if it was, but you've done a boatload of work to make it better and absolve that and made, amendments with the player and the family and the everything else, just show us.
Yeah. I completely agree. Tough scenes. Quack to the Ducks.
Choke on bread.
Yeah. Not looking forward to seeing that guy's face again. Anyways, let's get out of here on that. Jay, I got a question for you.
Yeah, I was looking at this. What does this mean?
I was just wondering if it hurt you at all that the new Pope is a Sox fan, not a Cubs fan.
It's fine. I actually think that it's cool that he's just a baseball fan in general.
Yeah. There's do you see there's a video of him at a World Series game?
2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so legit.
That's actually so funny that you just asked me that, because I've just been live updating, watching the Cubs game
Really?
for the last 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, they just let up 4 runs in the 8th inning.
Real
just
talk.
crumbling.
If the White Sox go on a run,
That is not happening.
it might convert me.
Do you know how bad the White Sox are?
No.
They're worse. They're in a worse baseball situation than any NHL team.
Oh,
is.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Well, okay, maybe not.
Yeah, it's not happening. Unless the Pope pulls some strings. But
That's what I'm saying, He might.
maybe.
So, yeah, shout out to the new Pope.
He's under the sauce.
You seen that edit of him walking out to Love Sosa?
Yes, I have.
That's so good.
Shared that.
I love it.
So here for it.
That's all I think. Yeah, I did have in the notes after the Quenneville thing, just Pope Jonesy.
I thought I was getting recruited or something.
All right. It's going to be a great week of hockey, y'all. I cannot wait. By the time we're here next week, all of the second round will be done. Besides maybe a game 7 or 2 if we still have game 7s.
God. It's so exciting.
Honestly, I'm going to plant this in our listeners' heads now. I really do think if we get game 7s, we should just push back a couple days and wait till the game 7s are done.
Yeah, good point. I could always I could come in like after work on Monday or something.
Yeah,
I'm off at 4. You don't work Mondays, so like,
no,
we could do that.
Jay's off Mondays too, obviously. So, yeah, we could do something like that maybe.
Yeah, definitely. So hey, like pending the game 7s going late, we might be late.
Yeah, I mean, just expect our next episode to be after the second round ends.
Yeah, which I actually want to end on this. What's your favorite part of the playoffs, like series-wise? Because mine's always been the conference finals.
Conference finals are your favorite?
Yeah. It sounds weird.
Round 1.
It's also round 1 for me.
I don't like round 1. My only thing on that is that like half of it's a wash, and it's just like sometimes I end up watching a series and I should be watching a different series, and I'm like, why am I watching this series?
That I understand. It's chaos. It's a lot, and it's a lot of overlap. Actually, you know what? The second round is my favorite. Once we get to the third round and the finals, it really is like, it feels like the end is near for hockey. You know what I mean? When I have to wait, when there's a day without playoff hockey on, hurts me inside.
That's so fair.
Second round, like you're getting 2 banger games every single day, basically.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that works great. Speaking of, we got the Jets and Dallas game kicking off in an hour and a half.
That's right.
So let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
Over there, we got our producer.
Producer Jay.
And as always, keep your dang heads up, y'all.
Keep your head up.
Boom.
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 Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick